I'm going to take I'm going to take several prophecies that we watch so closely, and I'm going to talk to you about why were they so devastating and catastrophic? Why weren't they seeing a possible future that's amazing? And of course, we could say that's because we're on the path of destruction because we're choosing it. But why are we choosing it? I actually thought further into this, looked up some scientific evidence, and there is a secret. Well, maybe it's not a secret. Maybe you actually really know this. This is going to make a lot of sense as to why they gave us the most catastrophic prophecies and that some of them are coming true right now. How can we change them? I'm going to point something out to you that may be so shocking. It may be a secret. Nobody's really talking about it. Why not the prophecies of a golden future? Well, that is to come. But we're going to talk about what you can do to change everything, and these prophecies could turn around. What did they know? I'm going to tell you right now. Let's go. So many spiritual traditions teach that focused intention influences behavior, perception, and even the unfolding of events, but it's not established that evil manifests more powerfully. I've told you before, everyone is equal. Everyone has equal power, equal ability to manifest and change anything. Everyone. A stronger, more defensive argument about this is that clarity, conviction, persistence, and emotional intensity tend to produce more tangible results than hesitation and self-doubt, regardless of whether the goal is altruistic or selfish. And I'm going to demonstrate today why there's so many negative predictions and why it seems so unfair that the evil ones, the dark ones, seem to be winning. I'm going to demonstrate to you exactly what's going on. It's a programming and it can be changed, but you have to be aware of it. And this is the secret. So welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube. I'm here to help you break through the fear. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Why is that the barrier to a golden age? Why are we going to fear? What is it about that that's keeping the spiritual community back from pushing forward into an amazing new earth that can happen right now? It's the programming, but I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you can ask yourself if maybe you come in this category and that you're contributing to the imbalance that's going to take us through tumultuous times that these prophets have predicted. So for thousands of years, these prophets warned humanity about wars, collapse, natural disasters, periods of tremendous upheaval. But what if these weren't fixed predictions at all? Well, they aren't. What if they were descriptions of the trajectory humanity was on at that moment? That's exactly what they were seeing. When you hear prediction, it is a true reality. It can be changed, but it's what someone is seeing at that moment. And of course, I've shared this with you and warned you, watch it, because the human giving that prediction is an influence on the prediction itself, depending on what they believe and think and where their frequency is. Almost every great prophet also taught something else that often gets overlooked. Human beings have free will. Edgar Cayce was a big proponent of teaching this. You can change it. And that changes everything. If consciousness influences reality, even in ways we don't fully understand, then collective behavior, emotion, and intention become powerful forces that shape the future we experience. You and I right now, everything we're believing and thinking, but what if the spiritual people are not as forceful in their desires or beliefs? Maybe they're so peaceful and shrinking back, waiting for something to save them. Is that what's going on? So let's consider something fascinating. Who usually possesses the greater certainty? History shows that tyrants, conquerors, and those driven by greed rarely question themselves. Here's the secret. They wake every morning completely convinced of what they want. They don't apologize for their ambition. They don't second guess their goals. They don't wonder if they're worthy. Doesn't matter if their intentions are good or bad, if their frequency is high or low. They don't question what they're going after. Their focus is unwavering. Meanwhile, many deep spiritual people spend years doing the exact opposite. They doubt themselves. They believe wealth is somehow less spiritual. I've had people ask why I'm promoting a book, a spiritual book, why I'm charging for it. Yes, what are we thinking? They criticize success. They fear being seen. They wait for a savior, an event, disclosure, ascension, or divine intervention instead of recognizing their own creative power. We're waiting for disclosure, right? Well, I'm not, but many disclosure from the government, and government's totally in control of it, saying, we'll do it when we feel like it. How do we want to give it to them? What do we want them to think and believe? And we're saying, tell us what we need to know. Do you see how ironic this is? Spiritual people, they meditate on abundance, but secretly expect lack. They pray for peace while emotionally rehearsing catastrophe. Do you do this? In manifestation, emotion amplifies attention. Emotion amplifies attention. So if you are praying for abundance and you're expecting lack, thinking lack, you are actually creating lack. You know this. That's what the prophets are seeing. The power of those whose intentions are much stronger on what they want and they don't question it. Attention reinforces belief. Belief directs action. Action changes outcomes. Whether you view this through neuroscience, psychology, or spirituality, the pattern is remarkably consistent. The mind moves toward what it repeatedly rehearses. Edgar Cayce taught this. Baba Vanga saw this. Dolores Cannon warned of it as a choice. It's a choice. The mind moves toward what it repeatedly rehearses. So if millions of people continually feed fear, outrage, division, and helplessness, those states don't simply remain private thoughts. They influence conversations, choices, politics, economics, communities, and ultimately the world we create together. And this, I believe, explains why so many prophetic visions describe catastrophic futures. They're picking up on those with lesser positive intentions who are very sure of what is going to happen, and they're going to do everything in their power to make it, while others question and look to others to save them. Not because catastrophe is inevitable. This was not predicted because it's inevitable, because that's where collective consciousness was headed. A warning isn't a sentence. It's an invitation to change direction. Why give us these prophecies? What's the purpose? If it's so horrible, if it's going to happen, why do we need to know it? Because we can change it. Many of the greatest seers, Edgar Cayce, Dolores Cannon, and others suggested that the future is made up of probabilities rather than certainties. Different timelines emerge from different choices. Humanity is continually selecting among possibilities. The lower frequencies don't doubt what they want. They are so adamant about the power, the money. They're so passionate about it. They envision it. They're going to do everything in their power. Does this make sense? And therefore, they appear to really have control over everything. Now, yes, there are other things going on. We're going to talk about that here in a moment. The real question isn't whether the prophecies were right. The question is whether we continue energizing the very future they warned us about. What if the greatest imbalance in our world isn't that darkness possesses greater power? It doesn't. It's just very sure of itself. This is the secret. The visions are only of the power that is sure and outweighs the other in its intentions, in its vibration, and it's overpowering the other only because this one isn't sure. It's going to be seen. And that's what energy, it's just energy. And so energy doesn't discriminate. It just says, okay, who's screaming the loudest? Yes, the egos. What if darkness simply possesses greater certainty? Imagine what would happen if compassionate, conscious people became just as committed to building the future they want as fearful people are to expecting collapse. And you might say, oh, no, I want good things. Do you? Are you in fear? Are you pointing fingers? Are you waiting for the lady in white, Chris Bledsoe's predictions to change the world with the divine feminine? Well, the lower frequencies aren't waiting for that. They're going after what they want. They don't care who appears, who doesn't. They know what they can get because they know their power, and spiritual people doubt theirs. Imagine millions of people creating with confidence instead of apology, building instead of waiting, leading instead of hoping somebody else will. We're used to being, the meek, right? Waiting for authorities to do everything. Tell us if there's aliens or not, instead of saying, I don't need you to tell me. I don't need you to talk about my health or my wealth or anything else. I don't need to go into that system that you control. Yes, we're starting to question it, and we need to. Perhaps the greatest prophecy isn't about the end of the world. It's about the end of our belief that we are powerless. This is the secret, and that is that those with lower intentions, yes, you could call them evil, whatever their choices are, they don't doubt themselves. They don't doubt their power. They're so adamant and about going after it, and they'll do anything. They'll distract us. They'll put fear in us. They'll tell us what we need to focus on, and it's working because the future has never belonged to those with the darkest intentions. We can change it. It's always belonged to those who consistently choose where to place their attention, their energy, and their actions. The question is, what future are you helping create today? I'm going to do a part 2 of this video, negativity asymmetry. I'm going to demonstrate to you that this is not only real science, but it's happening right now. And that if you put 2 people in a room, or if you put just one person screaming in a room of hundreds of people and no one else was, they were all whispering, you would hear that one person and you know exactly what they were saying. The quantum field is no different. And that's exactly what's happening right now. And if we do not make different choices, if we do not become very clear about what we desire, if we decide it's time to stop questioning whether or not we can be abundant, healthy, whether we can stand on our own, whether or not we need to be in the system, whether or not what your parents told you was true or what the government's doing, when we decide that we hold individual power to create anything, and you are passionate about it, and you are sure of it, you will change the world, starting with your own reality. And that's what lower frequencies do. It's not that, higher frequencies always win. Yes, light shining in a room obliterates darkness, but we're not shining our lights, we're dimming them. And until you blast your light out and shine it, you can't show the way to others. We're not here to obliterate anybody. We're here to shine brightly. That will change every prophecy you've heard from Baba Vanga, Edgar Cayce, Nostradamus, Dolores Cannon. Those were the warnings of the egos in place that were controlling the world and continue to until we decide that our intentions and our focus are equal and we can shout in the room and the universe will listen and act on it. Are you ready to implement this secret? This is the true secret. And you've heard about the book with Lorna Byrne. Yes, The Secret. She wasn't trying to be evil, and some people said it was. And I actually read the book and said, this isn't so terrible. She's saying you should be grateful. You should help others. You should give. Yes, that means I am abundant. But spiritual people don't go down that road, do they? Wealthy people do. That's how they became wealthy. And some of them have lost their wealth and gotten it back again because they don't doubt their ability to do that. Spiritual people will win the lottery and lose it because they never felt worthy in the first place. Are you ready to go down this road and understand that prophecies were warnings of the egos that were being heard the loudest? So I invite you to watch my next video where we're going to explore the concept of a negativity asymmetry. We're going to talk about the human brain. We're going to talk about real science, and maybe you will shift and realize it's not difficult. Prophecies aren't just warnings. They are messages that you can redirect your power, and not enough of us are doing that. Are you ready to take control? I'm going to show you how to do that. Those of you who want to join me every Sunday, I have private coffee talk. We talk 1 to 2 hours. in a private session. Yes, you join the membership and the general public is not allowed in there. We are in a private, protected group, and there's no conversation that is off the table. Come on in. You are protected there. You are loved, and we invite all conversations. We must go into community. We are not excluding anyone. Everyone is welcome, but do surround yourself with those on a higher frequency, but take the action. Don't doubt your power. Don't doubt what can be. Focus on that and nothing but that. Pray on that. Send that powerful message out. We do not have to live like this. We will not live in a destructive world. We will not stand by and watch destruction to animals, plants, people. We will stand up. We will speak up. We will do everything in peace. There's always a peaceful way to everything. There's always a solution. Start inventing things. Start living that clean life. Go into my description. All of those companies down there, they are saving our planet. They don't use plastic, animals, toxins. And no, they're not more expensive. And I have discounts down there. I support them. I hope you will. And if you have some more companies that you love that abide by the planet's peace rules, please let me know and I'll add it to the list. You and I must live it, know it, speak it, believe it, be sure about it. I'll see you in part 2. I hope you'll subscribe and share these videos. And that's another thing. The more you're distracted and the more you watch these conspiracies and these crazy things about who's doing what that's evil, you are contributing to a lower frequency and you are actually changing the algorithm and the frequency of the entire planet and focusing on that negativity. You're actually contributing to it. Yeah, that's part of the plan. That's part of the whole game. Let's put as much garbage out there as possible. And yes, let's allow that, right? Let's not go to the good stuff. That's not as interesting as a train wreck. I know it's tough, but it's time to shut it down. It's addictive. Just like sugar and all the nasty stuff we put in our food here. We have to walk away, my friend. You're going to feel like a whole new person, but you and I have to live it. Are you ready to do that, to commit to that? I hope you'll subscribe. Please share my videos and tell people we're in charge. Right now, nobody else is going to do it for us. And so I'm not here to criticize anybody or tell them I'm wrong, because you're right if you believe it. But what is it you're believing? And if you're handing your power or you think somebody else is doing something horrible, you're still focused on that lower frequency algorithm. And YouTube's sending it to you because you tell YouTube you like it. And that goes out to AI. It goes out to the algorithms. It goes into the quantum field. Be careful. I'll see you in the next video because you are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Yes, please buy my book. It promotes everything that I'm doing. That money goes toward all these platforms that cost us thousands of dollars to run. And if you're one of those spiritual people that says spiritual people shouldn't charge or make money, you will keep us broke and disempowered. And that's exactly what the lower frequencies love. They're clapping and saying, man, they're going for it. Abundance is for everyone. It's how you earn it and how you spend it. Nothing wrong with money. And at some point, we just won't need it anymore. I feel very confident of that. It's go time. We don't have much longer. Some big things are happening here in 2026, 27, and then the gateway is going to open. I don't know what it is, but I think it's going to be special. Some of it's going to be frightening, exhilarating, and things will start dissolving that need to. So buckle up, my friend. Good times are happening, but not if you don't contribute toward it. See you in the next video. Namaste.